Hey guys, Matt here. Before I get into today's show, I just want to thank you all for your comments and your advice on our first video last week, where we previewed Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Now, as you would have noticed, we actually implemented your suggestion for a shorter intro, and that's not all we did. So I'll keep watching. Hopefully, we'll surprise you. Hopefully, we'll come up with some stuff that you'll find innovative, and we'll keep you watching into the future. We also have a new format and show structure, which I'll quickly explain to you before we get into today's show. From now on, we're going to upload 3 videos a week. Jared will do a tech and download related show on Tuesday, but I'll let him tell you about that when he does it. On Thursday, I'll give you guys a recap of the week's gaming news, and on Sunday, we'll do a feature video where Jared and myself will both do a review, preview, or just something special. So I'll just come back this Sunday to watch our video review of Dragon Age 2, and with that, let's jump into the news for this Thursday. Now, I'm sure like me, most of you are looking forward to the new Mortal Kombat reboot, and also like me, you nearly went into a murderous rampage when the infamous tight-ass Australian Review Board came back with a refused classification. Now that, effectively, it bans the game in Australia now. All hope isn't lost, however. Warner Bros. Interactive Australia released a statement saying that it felt the violence was on par with other games available for sale in Australia, as it is, and it's going to be challenging the decision put forward by the Review Board. Now, hopefully we'll still be able to play the game, because if not, some bitch is getting curb stomped, and Australian Classification Board, that is on you. I'm going to kill someone because of that, and that is on you. Think about that. Now, moving right along, and on a happier note, Microsoft stated this week that they are making available previously used and unavailable gamer tags. Keep checking back regularly to see if the one that you want is available, because the process, unfortunately, is going to take some time. But personally, I'm excited about this. It means I can finally get my hands on King Donkey Tick 69, which is epic! Now, some news from the Game Developers Conference now, and the makers of Infamous 2 Sucker Punch have announced they are adding a level creator to Infamous 2 to extend the gameplay experience. Now, they said the gaming market's main gripe with the first game is that when it's over, it's over. Good little analogy there. There's nothing left to do in the game, obviously. Now, of course, this is a good thing. Getting input from the gaming community and giving us a chance to design our own gaming experience is never going to be bad. But allow me to play devil's advocate for a moment. I played the first Infamous, and while I thought it was a good game personally, it was super repetitive. Now, the game design and the major story missions eventually became side missions, and you were doing the same thing over and over again. Now, I don't want to see the level creation become the same thing. To me, I know I'll cop shit for this, but it just seems like it's innovation for the express sake of innovation. There's only so many different combinations of enemies and level designs that you can have before Infamous 2 goes the same way as Lady Gaga. Sell out crap that people think is innovation purely because the people in the media are telling them it's innovation. All I'm saying is go into this, if you play it, with an open mind. More news from the GDC now, with Nintendo President Satoru Iwata, hereby referred to as Frank, stating that the new Mario game for the Nintendo 3DS is under development by the same team that made Super Mario Galaxy 2. Frank claimed that in the past, a major problem for a Mario game in 3D was the inherent fact that it was in 3D, meaning jumping up, hitting boxes is difficult for gamers. Now, I'm not trying to impress you guys, but I've never had any difficulty doing this. But then again, I've advanced hand-eye coordination from being a green belt in Taekwondo. Furthermore, they also unveiled a new logo for the upcoming Mario game that featured a tail, fueling speculation that Mario could be returning to the famed Tanuki suit. Moving on, developer Rocksteady stated this week that in the highly anticipated sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, gamers will be able to take all their neat little gadgets they acquired in the first game over into the new game. Now, this is totally awesome, considering that making Mr. Wayne going into a highly dangerous city populated mostly by criminals without all his fancy knickknacks would raise some serious questions about the Dark Knight's crime-fighting intelligence. But honestly, I don't care about that. I just really hope they show some Catwoman boobies in this offering. Bring on the fapping! THQ announced this week the release of a new Saints Row game, cleverly titled Saints Row the Third. What's going to set this game apart from the other installments in the franchise is that you won't need to start from Squalor and work your way up this time. Right from the get-go, you'll be in charge of a highly powerful game, the Third Street Saints. Now, I can't wait for this game. I personally thought Saints Row 2 was a much better game than GTA 4. Ha! Shut up! It's my show! I mean, come on. There's only so much realism a man can take. If I want to be depressed when I play a video game, I may as well just play Dance Dance Revolution and cry when I'm not agile enough to play it on extreme difficulty. And moving along, some news from Prototype 2 has also been released. Game developers Radical Entertainment have taken the criticism from the first game and implemented some changes for the sequel. The main complaint put forward in the original is that the story of the game is too convoluted to keep track of. Radical have streamlined the sequel's story and have put the focus on the main idea, which is to kill your maker. Now, of course, that refers to the game's first protagonist, Alex Mercer. Now, there are a few more changes as well, but I have no idea what they mean. I mean, I brought the first game, I played it for an hour and I returned it. I hated it, honestly. The story is boring, the graphics look like Spider-Man 3 on the original Xbox, and the controlling system was subpar to say the least. I will give number 2 a try, but hopefully the advancements help. Finally, the highly anticipated RPG Dark Souls received some screenshots, and here they are in a montage for your viewing pleasure. Making a montage up as we go along because we can't afford to pay the royalties for a proper song. We're really poor, we literally have like 5 cents, and I'm really sorry, this is really bad. But just pay attention to the clips, oh yeah, because that's what really matters at the end of the day. All you're here is to look at the video. You're not really caring about what we're doing, oh yeah. Stop! Now, to end the show, I want to start a segment called the Naughty Corner with Matthew. Essentially, what this is going to be is an opinion piece about something terrible that has happened to our gaming community in the previous week. It's not always going to make an appearance because, fortunately, the world isn't totally lame, but it is here this week. So, in saying that, the first inaugural Naughty Corner is going to be about an article written by IGN Australia scribe Toby McCasker. Toby wrote an article around 2 weeks ago entitled "While Dragon Age Origins is more memorable than Mass Effect 2. Now, this isn't a money-grabbing article because both games are of BioWare fame, so it's off to a good start already. Then, however, Toby doesn't compare the technical capabilities of the games in question, he doesn't compare the reviews of the games or how they were generally perceived by the gaming community, and he rattles off major points of the game and gives his opinion about the topics. His opinion! Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't IGN meant to be a gaming news website? Aren't they meant to adhere to the inherent philosophy of journalism and stay unbiased? Toby, ever the rebel, compares major plot points of both games and essentially says Dragon Age is better for no other reason than he liked it more. While yes, I may be a little biased considering I thought Mass Effect 2 was the greatest game last year, but I'm not alone. IGN have stated on several occasions that they think Mass Effect 2 is the greatest role-playing game ever made. They gave it their 2010 Game of the Year award. When Dragon Age Origins came out, it didn't win Game of the Year. The story is a total contradiction to previous IGN articles and it spits in the face of real journalism. Game reviewers and writers shouldn't compare games on an opinion level. We are here to give justified opinions to you guys, the gaming community, on whether or not you should purchase a title. Everyone's taste is different, and Toby's article is rendered totally redundant because of this. I've been reading IGN articles every day since they started, along with Machinima and Game Informer. I spend copious amounts of hours on public transport reading their daily content. When a game site I love puts forward something like this, it brings home the message that at the end of the day, they don't care. They'll write about anything just to get readers, and it's spitting in the face of all gamers who go to these sites to stay informed and get industry news and reviews. And that about wraps up today's episode of Real Perception Gaming's news segment. Tune in on Sunday for our in-depth review of BioWare's Dragon Age 2, where we promise not to make outlandish comparisons. Please subscribe, rate and comment this video, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. All the links are below, and until next time, I've been Matthew, and you've been awesome.